In this video, we're going to go over the answers to the color switcher app. So we're going to have 3 different files here. I've already created the files in the basic folder structure, but it's just going to be similar to before. We're going to have the index.html. We're going to have a JavaScript folder, index.js in a JavaScript folder, or sorry, an index.js file in our JavaScript folder, and then the same thing with the CSS file. So I'll put those away for now, and I already have these open here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start writing some of the boilerplate code. As you can see, it auto completes a lot of it for me, which is always nice. Some of this. And so the first thing we want to do in the header is just link it to our style sheet. So again, this is all just boilerplate code. You don't need to memorize it. You can just copy it from somewhere else. So that should link up to our style sheet. And here we're going to do the body. So this is just a simple H1 tag so that we know the name of the program's color switcher. And we're going to have a paragraph, which has enter color, and we're going to have an input field that is going to take in text, and we're going to call it color. It's just going to be our button that's going to activate the button or the program once it's clicked, and then we're just going to put in our JQuery script. So I just copy pasted this. Again, don't memorize this. You can find it in a lot of different places on Google. Google has a CDN that you can get it from pretty easily, but there's a lot of different other sites that do it, including JQuery.com. So just remember to always put this before your actual link to your jQuery file, because otherwise you won't be able to use jQuery in your JavaScript file because the program reads from top to bottom. So again, just make sure this is first, that your JavaScript is ever not working. That's probably the reason why. So that's pretty basic HTML, nothing too complicated there. And I think that's all we'll need. Oh, just notice there's a dot here. This is a folder. That would have made our program not work. So anyways, just checking for errors, making sure you didn't do anything silly. And I think that should be it. Yeah, I think so. All right, so now we can go over to our index.js, and I'll just make this a little bigger. So we're going to create a function and call it color switcher. Use the curly brackets. parentheses, a little red squiggly. It's quite helpful sometimes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the value of the user input. So this JQuery here is going to select the input. So this is an input HTML element, and it's going to get the value of the input, the value of the user input. So whatever the user puts in is going to be what's going to come up here, and it's going to be stored in a variable, the local variable color. And then what this code is going to do is it's going to select the body, so the body tags, which is basically the entire website, and it's going to use the .css method to change the background color of the body tag to color, which is the variable which is getting the user input. So the user input's value gets stored in the variable color, and that gets used by this JQuery method to change the background color. So now all we need is a button to actually call this into action. And that should be it for our JavaScript file. So we're not going to do a lot of styling here. The one thing I like for buttons is just to give them a little curvature, because square buttons are lame. We're going to make this 0.25 rem. So nothing too crazy here. We're going to go back to our index file, double check for any errors. Sure, we probably made something somewhere, but this looks good right now. Our HTML, and that should be about it. So I'm just going to open this up, see if it actually works. You probably can't see this, so let's increase the size and let's try it yellow. It looks like it works. One thing I want to try out real quick is I can't remember if I actually need this little line of code or not. So I'm just going to try deleting that and see if it still works. Yeah, it still works. So don't actually need that name. So that was legacy of me trying to use the ID selector or the name selector instead. But this is slightly easier way to do it. You could also come in here and do ID color, and then in your JavaScript file, you can then use it as ID color. So this is going to do the same thing, and in bigger programs, it's better to use the ID tag, so that way you're a little bit more specific. So this will just specifically get the input here. So save about that and double check to make sure that works as well. Yeah, it still works. So again, a couple different ways to do the same thing. Whatever answer you came up with, as long as it works, that's all that really matters. You know, there's different methodologies and different formats that different professional programmers will use, but the most important thing is making sure that it actually works. So if you got it to work, great. If not, we got plenty more projects in this lesson to go through. So hopefully you'll figure it out on some of the next lessons.